Hey folks, Bernakevitch here with All Points Design. That's allpointsdesign.ca. And today we're taking a look at the Oregon State University Permaculture template. Specifically, we're looking at the base map and specifically we're looking at water flow. So when we get to any design site, the context of that site is dependent upon the climate and then the topography and then the water. And you can see that each follows the other. The climate affects the topography affects the water flow. And when we're working in urban or rural environments, we want to see where the water is and where it flows. So in this slide, what I've done is I've taken a dotted arrow, which I took over here and created an arrow and then just reached it out. And then what I did is I increased the size by going over to my line weight, going up to maybe size 4, going over and making it into blue, and then again increasing maybe that size a little bit more, and then did a dotted line, which is the line weight on the other side. And that's how I got my dotted arrow. Now that arrow has been used multiple times in multiple ways, and I just said water, gutter, flow. And because my spelling is poor, I ended up saying floor, but now it says flow. With this water flow, we want to show the direction of flow for the roof, and you only need one arrow to show that. It's not necessary to put multiples. We get it. It's just a single roof and it goes a single direction. Now, as we can see over here in the garage, there's two sides of the roof. It's a gabled roof, so it's going in both directions. Similarly, if you have contour lines, please do include your contour lines. Either bring in the image the contour lines is on and trace all the lines and then label the lines saying it's 1 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot, or 5 meters, 6 meters, 7 meters. Make sure it's on this this base map if you have them. If you don't, like I don't, and most people won't have in urban environments, all we have to do is just put generally what the slope is. And so there's a bit of a drop off from the top of this to the bottom. And I've tried to show that with the lines and how far they go up the slope. So this is a gradual steep slope that kind of comes in and becomes quite flat here at the top. The back is quite flat. And now in this situation, this is almost the same as this in terms of being very steep. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to take off that property boundary because it's kind of making problems. And I'm going to take 3 of these. I'm going to copy and I'm going to paste. And I ended up getting also this big background. That's all I wanted, those 3. So now that I got those, I can put those over here. And that takes care of showing that water flow. Now I'd like those potentially below my trees, my shrubs there. So I'm just going to send backwards 1. And I still didn't get it. And then order send backwards again. Still didn't get it. So order send backwards. And so I might instead go the opposite way and then bring these folks forward. So right click on my 3 shrubs there and bring to front. There we go. So now we see that there's a slope in the back. The back is relatively flat, not much slope whatsoever, except for maybe this quarter. So I may grab one of these, copy, paste, Control C, Control V, and then just show the direction. Okay. Other places where I've used this is I've put them along the edges of roofs to show that this is the gutter direction. So the water flow comes down the roof and then down this, and then I've made a specific arrow for downspouts. So we have a direct downspout here, and then we have a downspout that actually crosses the fence and comes down at this corner, which later on will be useful because now we have water out to this sort of barren area, which is quite a nice feature to have. The other thing I've included is a hose bib. So this is a place where we have water that comes out of the hose, sometimes called a spigot. And then I've also added in the storm drains. Now, I've added in the storm drains because in urban environments, it's really important to know where the water leaves the site, or if we can take up that water potentially and bring it into the site, a la Brad Lancaster's curb cuts or what's called low impact developments in Canada. I've also shown the direction of the gutter. So the water flows off the road onto the gutter, comes to this drain, comes around the corner and into this gutter. Unfortunately for the clients, this gutter backs up quite a bit, and in the water flow assignment, I'll end up putting in some seasonal flooding that happens at least once or twice a year where you could take a kayak out here. So water, we want to take a look at where it's flowing, where we have access to it, and where it might be involved in the site. Again, this area over here is actually quite steep, so I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to take those three, 1, 2, maybe I'll take 4 even. And I did pick up that back as I was doing it. So I just want to make sure I get rid of that, copy, paste, and then come over here. And if I have them all highlighted, sometimes I can actually just shrink them all together. Perfect. That's exactly what I was hoping for. Great. And now I'm going to just spread them out a bit to show that this is indeed the water flow area here, and it is still that slope. Great. You'll see that everything here has been labeled blue. I exclusively keep water to blue, and I highly recommend you do as well. Thanks so much, folks, and we'll see you in the next tutorial.